Phoenix International Raceway will be the site of race 4 of 36 of the early NASCAR Thunder 2004 custom season. Last week in California, we edged out Dale Jarrett in a thriller after Jeff Gordon, who dominated most of the second half of the race, had to pit late due to fuel issues and ended up finishing 24th. So far, only 2 drivers had punched their ticket into the playoffs. Dylan Murray is also the regular season points leader over Tony Stewart. As we show off our new sponsors for this race, the new sponsor package for the new Man in Black. Sponsored by Whitetails Racing today in Phoenix. One of the more newer stops on the Winston Cup circuit, Phoenix International Raceway, is the short track, the small speedway that kind of has characteristics of a short track, if you really think about it. You got flat, narrow corners over one end of the racetrack. Pretty much the entire track is flat. And you got a wide dog leg. You're going to see some pretty interesting starts. Track position is going to be absolutely critical today in this one. You want to come into the green flag. You want to charge the car hard into the corner. And I mean, we flew in turn 1 and 2. Get the car to the bottom, then coming out of turn 2 towards the dog leg. You want to get close to the wall. Try not to kiss it a little. Kiss it. And then immediately arc it down on the yellow line in turn 3. And then bring it back out towards the wall in turn 4. Lay a blistering lap. We'll see what this second lap brings us if we're going to be faster than that. $171 miles an hour going into turn 3. That's how fast we are right now. And a blistering lap, too. Let's go trackside.
Joe Moore and Barney Hall from the beautiful Arizona desert at the 1 Mile Phoenix International Raceway for today's Checker Auto Parts 500K. Tell us more about this unique track, Barney.
Oh, it's beautiful here, right at the base of the Australia Mountains. This is quite an interesting racetrack. First, it's known as the world's fastest 1 mile oval. Add to that the fact that each corner is slightly different, and it all adds up to some great racing.
The 64 car can count on a couple of the drivers out there to treat him well, especially the 24 car.
You know, some people think you can win other drivers' respect by just going out and winning races. But this guy knows you have to do it the old-fashioned way. You go out there and race hard, but clean.
Kenny Wallace is having some trouble at the points this year.
Now, those guys have been working so hard this year, it's a shame it doesn't really show in the points. It just seems they can't keep that car out of trouble on race day. Maybe their luck will change today.
Kyle Petty had a very rough season in 2002.
Boy, did he ever. With no top 10 finishes and an average finish of 27, you know it's a year he'd like to forget.
Gentlemen, start your engines. The 64 car, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, will be starting the pole. In the second row are the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet and the DuPont Chevrolet. Starting the race for row 3 are the Tide Pontiac and the Lowe Chevrolet. The fourth row has the Dodge dealers UAW Dodge and the Home Depot Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Pfizer Ford and the Team Rusty Dodge. In row 6 we have the Sterling Marlin Dodge and the Dodge dealers UAW Dodge. Starting from row 7 will be the GM Goodrich Chevrolet and the O2 car. In the 8th row are the Blazer Ford and the Singular Riley Chevrolet. In the 9th row we have the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the Valvoline Pontiac. In the 10th row are the US Army Pontiac and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 11 are the America Online Chevrolet and the Winners Ford. The 12th row has the Wolf Power Tools Ford and the Bam Racing Dodge. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford and the UPS Ford. In row 14 we have the Caterpillar Dodge and the 57 car. Starting from row 15 will be the Citgo Ford and the Net Zero Pontiac. In the 16th row are the Hamilton Dodge and the M&M's Ford. In the 17th row are the Stacker 2 Dodge and the Kellogg Chevrolet. In the 18th row are the Target Dodge and the Kodak Maxville Pontiac. Starting the race from row 19 are the 46 car and the Cheerios Dodge. The 20th row has the David Green Pontiac and the Motorcraft Ford. Starting the race from row 21 will be the Interstate Battery Chevrolet and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. And finally, starting from the rear of the field will be the 45 car.
So there you see the starting lineup on the screen. We have 81 laps on tap this afternoon in the Checker Auto Parts 500 at the end of the West Coast swing before they head back east for a showdown in Atlanta. We have had 2 drivers punch their tickets into the playoffs. Will we have a third today, or will Dylan Murway basically sweep the West Coast swing? You're about to find out. Ryan Newman, Dylan Murway, lead him down. We are green at Phoenix. Dylan Murway gets a clear jump over the 15 of Waltrip. That time, Dylan will lead the first lap. And you see Ricky Craven trying to go under Mikey for third. Gordon gets kicked out to fifth. Bill Elliott has made his way into the top 5 as well. You see on the bottom of the screen. Ricky Craven has made his way up to second. He has 1 career win to his name. That was ironically another barn burner finish similar to the one we had last week in California between him and Dale Jarrett at Martinsville back in 2001. Everybody says he has a strong car to beat, but can he dethrone the West Coast swing champ, Dylan Murway, after winning Vegas last week or a couple weeks ago and going out to California and winning there too? After starting 25th, Dylan Murway kind of went wide in turn 1. Here comes Craven to try to take. Will he get the spot? Comes just in front of the 32 of Craven. But Dylan Murway still will have the lead coming out of turn 4 and to the line.
26.91. Oh, that was a quick lap.
And oh, wow, way outside the groove. Dylan misses the corner, and Ricky Craven will take the top spot. Top 5 right now: Ricky Craven, Dylan Murway, Bill Elliott, Michael Waltrip, and Jeff Gordon. As Craven gets a little tied off in turn 1. Somehow is still able to get the power down off of 2. As Dylan will immediately try to break Craven's ankles by going underneath off of 4. Neck and neck at the line. It looks like Dylan will barely get that lap and keep Craven up top. There's Bill Elliott there waiting in the wings in case these two really start get to racing. Seven laps complete in the Checker Auto Parts 500 from Phoenix. Dylan Murway has led all but one so far in this race. Bill Elliott has made his way to the second spot. Ryan Newman has passed Jeff Gordon for 5th. Early on in this race, a little bit of... Seems like the top 3 have started to settle down a little bit, but Dylan Murway is beginning to kind of pull away from the 9 of Bill Elliott. He's got about half a second on him. As we make our way through 3 and 4 again. Well, quite a bit of battling throughout the pack, but so far seems pretty fruitless for them to try to make a run at the 64 of Dylan Murway. Because Dylan is flying. As he kind of kissed the wall outside the dog leg. Jeff Gordon has made his way to 3rd. After that little battle between him, Michael Waltrip, Craven, Ryan Newman. As Craven has fallen to 5th, by the way. Jeff Gordon's best finish was a top 5 run at Vegas a couple weeks ago. He was up front for most of the second half of California last week, but late fuel issues basically forced Robbie Loomis's hand and forced Jeff Gordon to pit. And speaking of which, look at Dylan Murway. He's already gapped Bill Elliott by almost a full second right now. Just judging by how fast that 64 is, does Bill Elliott even have a chance of trying to dethrone him so far? You're on board the Whitetail Chevrolet.
26.58. Great lap.
Tony Stewart has made his way up to the 5th position after shuffling out Craven and Waltrip. But Dylan Murway is already in turn 3 right now. Turn 3 rolling through turn 4. He's kind of running a very unusual line. Typically you see some of the other drivers kind of stay right on that line and not even daring to deviate down low. But you got Dylan Murway kind of leaving half a groove in turn one, then kind of kissing the rumble strips on the backstretch, and then going down into three, he kind of goes between the apron and the line just to get a little bit of extra power off the corner. And that's why he's so fast. Dylan Murway has even opened his lead up to 3 seconds over Bill Elliott. Rusty Wallace has made his way to fourth, by the way. But so far, none of them seem to have a remote chance at catching the 64 of Dylan Murway. He's on a rocket ship. Dylan just gets out of turn 4. Bill Elliott just got out of there now. Dylan Murway is literally halfway up the straightaway getting into turn 1. And then back again. Look at Dylan, though. He's just gone. He's probably got a good 4 seconds on Bill Elliott just because how fast he is. A little bit of battling further back. The Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Jeff Gordon machines have started to distance themselves a little bit from Tony Stewart, but with all of them doing a lot of fighting, they can't really get to Dylan as he continues to open his lead to almost 5 seconds. Look at that lead. Almost 5 seconds on the 9 of Bill Elliott. Separate Dylan Murway and Bill Elliott as he continues to just dominate this field. And now Tony Stewart's 6 seconds back. I think you might see some pit stops here in the next couple laps, I believe. Or I don't know what the strategy is going to be for some of these guys. Dylan Murway might try to have a little stretch run here. See how far he can get his car to stretch on this first set of green flag pit stops. Dylan Murway has laid a 26:49 as his fastest lap today, as he continues to basically run away from the field and hide. He's already catching the back half of the field with what looks like might be the 18 of Bobby Labonte having a very disappointing day. He had to take qualifying provisionals here last night, take a provisional, I believe, which is why he started 41st. He's not really having the greatest of days. And it was a green card. Then looks like it might be, it's the 43 of Christian Fittipaldi. He's another one that started at the back. Kyle Petty had to take a provisional for this race along with the 18 of Bobby Labonte. That was the other big issue there. Labonte has made his way through the field as we confirm right now. And Fittipaldi just won a lap down. Look at that. Dylan Murway has opened up his lead to 7 seconds over the 9 of Bill Elliott. 7 full seconds as he tries to root David Green out of the way. Puts Green a lap down. I think you might see some pit stops here, maybe the next lap or two from these guys. And Dylan can't make it much longer in terms of laps, maybe 1-2 laps tops. Other than that, he has to come in.
You're clear.
As he missed pit road that time. Dylan Murway thought about coming in, but he missed pit lane. So he has to think about coming in right now. Otherwise, he's going to be out of gas. Gets by the 46 of Ashton Lewis. And down on the apron. And that will begin the first round of green flag stops this afternoon.
So a bit of a interesting first green flag run today, part of this green flag run today. Dylan Murway has led all but one lap here in this one.
As they wait things out. As Dylan Murway just fell a lap down. Wow. They have to be having green flag pit stops take place at least now. And it looks like that is the case. Gordon, Johnson, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson have made their way to pit road. And several other cars have done the same.
I guess a little respect pays off. You're not walking like usual.
Here's Dylan Murway's gonna let Ryan Newman come to pit road. Set his sights on what looks like the 24 Jeff Gordon, who is trying a similar strategy to what he played at California, trying to let the fuel play out as much as he can. Let's see how far the fuel can go. Yeah, after this race last season was the penultimate race. Oh, contact! Gordon hits the brakes coming off of turn 4 onto pit road. Dylan Murway gets into the back of him. No caution. But a little bit of damage to the back of the 24 car. Everybody stays green. So the leader right now is in turn 3. That is the 31 of Robbie Gordon. And it looks like Dylan Murway might be taking the lead from him here. Unless Robbie's trying the same strategy Dylan tried last week and seeing how far the fuel will last. As he's got 10 seconds between him and Robbie Gordon. And I think Robbie's coming in this time. No, he's staying out. Kind of surprising to see this. See Robbie stay out as long as he has. You know, he is starting to eat into his lead just a little bit. It looks like Robbie is coming into pit road now, so this means the lead will be handed back to the 16 of Greg Biffle, or the 64 of Dylan Murway, as he tries to negotiate his way past the 16 of Biffle, who was the only caution last week at Auto Club.
Let's get up there. 1 second, just 1 second back. Number 16 is attempting a box.
comes Dylan. He's there. He's letting Biffle know he's there. He kind of got under and gave him a little bit of a shot in turn 4. As Dylan gets by, Robbie Gordon puts him a lap down. And he's there here in turn 4. Kind of gave him a little bit of a nudge. And Biffle will get the power off of 4. A bit of an extra shot in turn 3. I think that second shot might have been a warning to Biffle. If Dylan gives him a third shot, he's going to go around in turn 3. Around again. And tell that 64, quit beating on my fucking bumper, damn it. And that's Greg Biffle's opinion. But at the same time, you're holding up Dylan Murway. And I understand the stress and the frustration of being all trying to fight for your lap. But at the same time, Dylan's got to go. Right, he's got a 7-second lead, but what if it was a lot closer, half a second, or on Tony's bump, or on Dylan's bumper? Honestly, Dylan would probably wreck the 16 like he's probably going to right here this time. And Dylan runs Biffle up the racetrack. Oh, he hits him. And turns him in turn 4. They race to the caution flag. Greg Biffle gets turned in turn 4. So far, it looks like a single car incident. Robbie Gordon did get his lap back. So pace car is off, as right now you look at regular season standings. Brett Bonine, last car in the lead lap. Green flag, back into the air. Dylan trying to squeeze in front of Kenny Wallace. Greg Biffle is there. He's going to go for a payback here. But Tony Stewart sits in second. Dylan's got about half a car length between him and Tony. This would be a good opportunity for Tony to get a run. Dylan goes wide. Here comes Stewart underneath. Put Tony Stewart out front here at Phoenix. Wallace going with him. Dylan goes wide. Wallace in third. You got Kenny Wallace, Rusty Wallace, Kenny Wallace. Greg Biffle still not real happy after that last yellow. Tony Stewart, the new leader at Phoenix. Biffle slams on the brakes. And they're still going at it here. Oh, Johnson gets into the side of him, of Dylan. Dylan up the track. All the payback, Dylan Murway and Greg Biffle, they're both near each other. I bet Biffle probably wants to pay that 64 back. At the same time, all this bumping is just got to stop. You got your own issues to worry about out here. So looks like back marker green flag pit stops have begun today. Begun now. Dylan Murway drafting with Jimmy Johnson and Bill. I guess apologize to Jimmy after that incident. As Dylan is going to be following Kenny Wallace past Jimmy Johnson to take third. Tony Stewart has distanced himself from Rusty Wallace.
27, 26. You're gaining on the leader. We're on lap 50.
And this Dylan's trying a new strategy. I mean, the draft isn't as critical here as, say, a bigger track like maybe Talladega, Daytona, but Dylan sharing draft with the drivers he's shared draft with. He's drafted with Jimmy Johnson for a little bit. That actually has allowed both of them to go a little faster. Because look at this. Dylan's giving Rusty space, I guess, to make up for the Daytona Roval incident last year. He's given Rusty as much space as he can, but this time he's allowing Dylan to save fuel. He's allowing Rusty to go faster until Rusty basically opens the door wide open for Dylan to run down Tony Stewart.
27, 60. We're getting somebody. Stay with it.
52 laps complete with Checker Auto Parts 500. We should be approaching final green flag stops of the day. Or at least very soon, I hope.
26, 27. Keep coming. We're getting there. You've caught the leader. Be patient with the pass. Your left front tire's a little worn.
Dylan is closing up on Stewart for the race lead. Here with 20 to go. Dylan's backing off. He's going to maybe try to let Dylan save his stuff with Tony. Could Tony be the third driver this season to punch his ticket into the playoffs with a win here at Phoenix, depending on how this fuel game goes? Because that's what I think this is going to come down to. Oh, contact.
Number 20, come on. You're clear. 28, 1. Catching up to the leader. Keep on it. Leader's right there. He slips up. Make your move.
As Tony Stewart and Dylan Murray continue to battle for the lead. Here with 24 to go, as Tony Stewart and Dylan Murray have distanced themselves a little bit from the drama. And he's doing the same thing with Tony. In fact, if Dylan doesn't pit now, he is going to be out of fuel. It's similar to the early pit stop incident. You know, Dylan trying to make the fuel last at least 30-plus laps and then overshooting pit road and coming pretty close to running out. As Dylan is almost out of gas here with 20 to go here today at Phoenix. Trying to let the fuel last as much as he can.
Be careful, buddy.
As Dylan's going to have to pit. He misses and goes over the speed limit here on pit road. That might be what does him in for today at Phoenix. Another simple mistake coming into pit road. Dylan Murray speeds coming in. as this might have done him in. All Dylan's got to do is hope for a yellow. Comes out in 38th position. And claw his way through the field as much as he can. There are some cars heading their way down pit road now as we speak. Oh, Dylan Murway is 2 laps down. That kills him. That basically just killed him for the race. He is 2 laps down right now. Out front, it has been the Tony Stewart show. Dylan charges wide. A huge, simple mistake has put Dylan Murway 2 laps down and essentially out of contention for the win today. As Dylan runs Biffle wide. Biffle gets into Skinner. And I think Dylan's probably going to get turned here by the 16 if he has anything to say or do about it. He is there. I think Dylan's trying to get, Biffle's trying to pay him back. Oh, Biffle with a shot. Biffle into the wall. Dylan trying to make up as much ground as he can. Currently being scored in the 22nd position at the line. Currently lap off the pace. Move Casey Mears out of the way. It's going to split David Green 3 wide. Basically knocks Green out of the way. Out front, it is the Dale Jr. show here late. Phoenix. Could Jr. play the fuel strategy game to his advantage and punch his ticket into the playoffs? Phoenix has statistically become one of his favorite tracks early on in his Winston Cup career outside of Daytona and Talladega. Sorry, Harvick. Dylan Murway made it from 38th to 16th, making up 2 laps out of all this. And somehow, looks like we got the leader down pit road now. The important thing here, does Dylan have time to make up the lead? The gap here from speeding on pit road to possibly winning this race. Dylan Murway takes Kenseth and Bill Elliott 3 wide. As Bill Elliott gets the wall off, gets into Kenseth off of 4. No caution, no further incident there. As it looks like Junior blends back in line. And back here down through 1 and 2. Here with 9 laps, about 10 to go here. Dylan Murway, I guess he's trying to just probably ride this race out. We got a car smoking. It's Tony Stewart with a blown motor from the lead. Tony Stewart with a late engine problem led a little bit of the late stages of this race. Looked like he had the race in hand, but blows up coming into turn 3. His chances of a win today are done. Dylan Murray gets by Newman and Harvick for 9th and 8th, who was way up in the top 10. 9 to go.
There's a 3-second margin between you and the leader.
It'll be a lot to make up in terms of 9 seconds. Granted, 9 seconds here is different from 9 seconds at, say, Pocono. 9 seconds at Pocono, you basically ride it out.
If you need someone to drift with, he'll work with you. 27, 78. Forget somebody, stay with it.
The leader right now is the 6 of Mark Martin, with Junior and Jimmy Johnson battling for position further back for 2nd and 3rd. Could Mark Martin finally dethrone Dylan Murray in the battle for the West Coast sweep and try to stop the streak at 2 straight wins?
Leaders out front by 3.5 seconds. The 24 car is outside.
Dylan using the apron to get by Gordon. He does that without further incident. Dylan's got a handful of laps and a great rocket ship today under him.
27, 0. Okay, let's get after these guys now.
Earnhardt Jr. is there. If he gets to Mark Martin, will he do anything? Jimmy Johnson looks like he might be a bit of a long shot. Yeah, Johnson's too far back to do anything. Dylan Murray has charged his way to 4th.
26, 7. Making up some time.
Martin and Earnhardt Jr. battling for 2nd. Jr. looks down low. 4 laps of racing to go. Jr. is there. If he gets to Mark Martin, he's going to probably hit him. But he's got 3 laps. Don't try to do anything stupid, because if you hit him and you don't get rid of him, Martin will do the same exact thing. He's leaving just a smidge off of groove open for Earnhardt Jr. to try to peek under him, but Jr. can't quite make it past. Junior to the inside. He could have the advantage. 2 laps to go at Phoenix. Junior gets the lead in turn 1. Martin crosses low. Junior with the block. Out of turn 4, we will see the white flag. Race in hand here at Phoenix. Look at Mark Martin coming right back. Martin to the inside. Neck and neck down the back stretch for the final time. Dylan trying to look under the 6. Oh, he gets into him. Still neck and neck off of 4. Martin gets into the wall. And Martin will win at Phoenix.
We usually have more cautions than that, don't we?
Well, I can assure you all those guys who finished in the back would like to have seen more cautions. Gives them a chance to make adjustments without the penalty of going a lap down. They just didn't have that luxury this time.
The 64 car ran out front all race long, except for when it counted.
Oh boy, that hurts. To be so dominant and have to watch another guy pull into victory lane, I can only imagine the frustration.
The 64 car will probably be exchanging words in the garage with the 16 car.
You don't make it into Winston Cup racing without being competitive, and sometimes these instincts get a little out of hand. Should be fun to see what happens next.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast of NASCAR Winston Cup Racing on MRN, the voice of NASCAR.
So a lot of last lap bumping. Dylan Murway kind of ran Martin up the track, couldn't really make the pass. Mark Martin dethrones Dylan Murway in the West Coast sweep today at Phoenix. Here you see the driver respect levels. Kind of, if I'm Dylan Murway, I'd really consider watching out for Greg Biffle in the garage. So Mark Martin wins today at Phoenix. Dylan Murway finishes second. Earnhardt Jr. third. Jimmy Johnson fourth. Sterling Marlin fifth. Rusty Wallace sixth. Ricky Craven seventh. Michael Waltrip eighth. Jeff Gordon ninth. And Ryan Newman rounds out the top 10. Looking through the rest of the field, Terry Labonte with a nice run today. Bobby Labonte, after starting almost shotgun on the field, ends up finishing today in 12th. Terry Labonte with a great run today. Looking through the rest of the field, Jeff Green, 21st. Tough day for Bill Elliott after ending up finishing 18th late. Looking through the rest of the pack, Robbie Gordon finishes 30th. Mayfield ends up 28th. Tough go for Tony Stewart today, and even Johnny Benson. Tony Stewart led 17 laps in the second half of this race. But unfortunately, he ended up finishing 42nd due to a blown motor. So we have had 13 lead changes among among 9 drivers. Dylan Murway led the most laps at 36. But just like California, gets edged out by a Ford. So the West Coast swing is over. Now we head out to Hotlanta next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, for the Georgia 500. So we take a look at the weekly awards. Mark Martin has punched his ticket into the playoffs with a win today. In the next preview of the next few races, we got Atlanta, Texas. Scores will probably be settled with Biffle and Murway at Bristol, followed by Martinsville and Richmond at night, and then Talladega, Darlington, and All-Star Week in Charlotte. Then, by the way, the last Fox race of the year will take place at Dover for the NBNA Armed Forces Family 400 before the NBC TNT portion will step in at Indianapolis. So, review the rest of the races. Obviously, we got some good ones coming up. Dylan Murway is still the regular season points leader. In terms of driver respect, watch out for Greg Biffle. So, awards for the week. Dylan Murway won the pole, led the most laps. Ricky Rudd passed the most cars. Dylan Murway had the fastest lap, was the best rookie, and Kurt Busch made the best pass. Dylan Murway has opened up the lead in the Ray Bestest Rookie of the Year. Chevrolet is a 2-point lead over Ford in the manufacturer standings. And Dylan Murway has a 100-lap chokehold on the EA Sports Lap Champion Award. See you next Saturday.